The trial has finally begun for a Southern California woman who famously, it's kind of famous, cut off her husband's penis before throwing it in the garbage disposal.
Now think about how malicious that is. Now, first of all, you already got it. She chopped off his penis. That's as literally as malicious as it could possibly be. But just so to make sure they couldn't put it back on, she throws it in the garbage. He's all tied up, and he's probably hearing, I mean, he's probably screaming his head off. Yeah. But there's actually tape of it. She, for some insane reason, did an audio recording, and you could hear the garbage disposal going in the background.
With her screaming, "You deserve it, you deserve it, you deserve it," in the background as well.
Oh.
Now, you're right, it is major insult to injury to throw it in the old grinder, but when you reattach something like that, is it really just for show at that point? Because come on.
You know, I don't know. There's amazing science these days, and so it's possible that they could have reattached it in some way, but she didn't want to take a chance on that. You know, I thought that there was going to be a backstory to this where we were going to be like, but it turns out he's been viciously abusing her and had sex with 28 other women, etc.
There's been one half of a sentence about possible abuse, you know, between them. But that's not even what the defense is focusing on. The public defender says that he told the jury that traumatic childhood that she had in a war-torn Vietnam caused mental illness. It bars her from a mayhem or torture conviction. Also, she met this guy at a gym, the victim, and after they married, he subjected her to sexual and verbal abuse.
According to them.
Right, and filed for divorce while they continued to live together in their Garden Grove home. But other people are saying that it was over a house guest that maybe overstayed their welcome. So
no, she's crazy. No. And I don't believe her, I'm be honest. First of all, if there was abuse, look, you never know, right? But she didn't even claim physical abuse because obviously she can't prove that. You'd have to prove it, right? And she doesn't even claim that. And she's crazy. She's claiming stuff like, oh, I was hurt in Vietnam like 40 years ago, whatever, right?
Which is possible.
Yeah, well, okay, great. Well, you'll get a chance to work that out as we give you a life sentence.
Right.
And you know, work out those issues with the clinic inside the prison, okay? Right. And then she goes to verbal abuse? Come on, how weak sauce is that? I mean, the verbal abuse claim made me question the sexual abuse claim. Right. You see what it sounds like she's just throwing stuff up against the wall.
Well, and for the healthy among us, if you're being verbally abused, you leave. You don't premeditated tie someone to a chair, drug them, put in their tofu. I mean, come on, that's another crime. She was making him tofu. But you tie him to a chair, cut off his penis, and then have him watch you put it in the garbage disposal. I mean, that just screams premeditated. So it's not, and people were comparing it to Lorena Bobbitt. It's not the same because that was done not premeditated. He was abusing her, and it wasn't. She didn't then go put it in the garbage disposal.
And for people who are going to get upset at me, say, "Oh, you're minimizing verbal abuse." Yeah. So I'm not minimizing verbal abuse in whatever your circumstance happens to be. And can you imagine a horrible scenario in which verbal abuse is terrible? I can. Under no circumstances would verbal abuse lead to a justification for chopping off someone's anything, okay? Their finger, their toe, their penis, nothing. That's not, you don't get to do vigilante justice like that. He was mean to me, he once yelled at me, so being the mental, insane person that I am, I ground up his penis. No, I'm serious. Life sentence, not even close. You know, obviously you got to be on the jury and they got to go through that and make sure she's guilty. If she is, put her away for life, not even close.
But do you think that what's going to happen, and could you maybe see her saying, look, after all I went through in Vietnam and all the torture and all the horrific stuff, his constant verbal abuse, I snapped.
Yeah, I don't care. Well, you worked that out in prison, okay? I'm the bad guy. And look, so just think about it this way. You think, hey, maybe, you know, all guys react like, oh, whoa, not that, that's the worst, right? Okay, now imagine if it was a guy. If anything, it might be worse, right? Imagine a guy's like, oh, my wife was nagging me, oh, verbal abuse, so I carved up her genitalia. How horrible does that sound?
You make a very decent point, Cenk.
Right?
Yeah.